Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today on Behr Builds Bikes, we're going to be putting together a Jamis Bikes Boss Cruiser 7 Stepover. This is a 14-inch frame in vanilla mint, 7-speed, linear pull V-brakes, the epitome of the fat tire beach cruiser that we have had on the market for at least the last 30 years. It has been the mainstay of our beach cruiser selection. These are relatively easy to put together. Shouldn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes tops in a production environment. Here, we're going to slow it down a little bit so you can see the idiosyncrasies of putting one of these together properly, getting the adjustments right. Shouldn't be that difficult at all. I would put this at a level 2. Should be a lot of fun. Let's get started. And if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. So, first things first, let's get her out of the box. Sharp utility knife, start at one corner. And from here, we'll take the rest of the bike out. Seat and our parts box. So now we're going to separate the front wheel with the zip ties. Slide the wheel off the end of the crank arm. Separate our plastic. Now we're going to lube our seat post and head tube. We're going to cut our seat post off the side of the frame. And we have our seat post. Now, you can optionally put the seat post in, clamp it in the frame, go from there, or you can put the seat on whilst you have the bolt facing upwards at you. It's all a matter of preference at that point. Be very careful not to cut the seat when removing it from the package. All right, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to loosen up the bolt on the back of the micro adjust. You see the seat is facing away from me. You see the rails here. The bottom of the cradle will drop down between the rails, turn it to where it's in line with the rails, and tighten up on the bolt. You see that the angle is pretty severe, and that is because there is quite a bit of angle in the frame. You're going to adjust this later. You just want it snug, and you wanted to get it on before you were doing something from up underneath the bike. All right, so as you can see, I've turned the bike around so that the drivetrain is on the outside when it sits up on the stand. We're going to take our seat, put it into the frame, and get it up into the clamp. All right, guys, so now you know the drill. We're going to take all the packaging off. We're going to separate our plastic. We're going to put our cardboard back in the box. We're going to get this as a clean disassembly of all the packing material. This shouldn't take very long. We'll go fast forward, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, so as you can see, we've unpacked everything except for the plastic on the handlebar. We don't need to take that off just yet, and there's actually a little bit of a trick to that. We're going to open our parts box. We're going to get out our pedals, our stem, which we can insert directly into the frame, our reflectors, our instruction manual, and our caps. All right, so first we're going to pull our handlebar around the front of the stem and turn our fork, and then turn our stem back to where it's facing forward. You can put a little bit of tension on the stem bolt just to hold it in place, and then take your stem cap off. Now with your handlebar, you want to make sure your cable orientation is proper, and this plastic is 2 pieces, so you can set the yoke of the handlebar into the stem, get your cap started, just snug these up. Just you're wanting to put this in a position where it's going to stay out of your way. Tilt your bars up. And then we'll move on to getting the front wheel in. So to make life a little easier, we're going to take these brake pads and turn them to the bottom of their slide on the V. Just make them as horizontal as you can. This will make adjusting the brake a lot easier after we get the wheel in. Then you can disconnect your brake noodle, and now we can put the wheel in. Make sure you fully inflate your tires to 60 psi. The rim will stretch, which will allow you to properly calibrate your brake pads. So because these tires don't necessarily have a directional pattern on them, you can put them in either way. What you're going to want to do is make sure you pull the lawyer tab, the washer, and the nut out far enough to where it goes up into the dropout, and you can turn the lawyer tab up into the first hole and the same on the other side. Now you're going to want your wheel as straight in the frame as possible. And then you use a 15mm to tighten down both sides. So as we can see, the brakes need to be balanced. This side has definitely got more tension on it. We're going to add some tension to the adjuster screw until the brakes move evenly, like that. Now we'll adjust our cable tension and we want just a little bit of contact on each side like that. That'll set the brake really tight. As long as the wheel is straight, got a little bit of rub, that means we need to touch up the front wheel. But other than that, we'll put a cap on here, tuck it in, brakes are good. You can also see that the rim is not completely straight. Where it stopped against the pad there, we're going to use this spoke that is on the outer side of the rim to pull it away from the pad. increasing tension will pull the rim away from the pad. Now where the rim gaps, we're going to pull back from the drive side so that it's not hitting the other pad. You can also loosen a spoke in order to help to get the balance of left to right proper on the wheel. The gap between the brake pad and the rim should be relatively the same all the way around. But we will get into fine-tuning a wheel at a later time. In the meantime, as long as we can get free spinning and good braking, so with our rear wheel inflated, we can check to see that our rim is straight and that our brake pads are properly aligned with the rim. You don't hear any dragging. Everything seems to be just fine. So now we'll install our pedals. Get open the plastic wrap. Sheet of cardboard out. These are labeled left and right, kind of obvious. Make sure that these adhesive stickers that they put into the center are well pressed down. They do have a tendency to come off sometimes. We're going to grease the spindles like always, get them into the cranks, tighten everything down. This shouldn't take but a second or two. To start, let it find its threads. Same with the other side. Set them with a pedal wrench. Use your other crank as leverage to lock the pedals down. Now, as you can tell by pedaling backwards right out of the box, in first gear, this thing's actually aligned pretty well. We're going to dump all the way down to 7th gear, and then we'll check the rear alignment. So as you can see by the chain being perfectly aligned with the derailleur jockey wheels, as we hit each gear, it should flow through naturally. A little hesitation in dropping back down. I'm going to adjust the stop screw. All right, so here you can see the high and low stop screws. This is the high gear. We're going to back this out just a little. Hopefully that brings it over to stop it from having any sort of hesitation. We'll go up one. Now, if the chain looks like it's too far over and touching this gear, all we have to do is back off the tension adjustment screw and you'll see it come back over a little bit. That also helps it to jump back down into the highest gear. But that's how it should be shifting. All right, so as long as she's on the stand, we're going to put the reflectors on. Now the angle of the seat post is pretty steep, so I like to set it at a pretty good angle. You might be saying, well, why is he putting it towards the front? Well, once we get her on the floor, that's the bolt that's going to adjust the angle of the seat, so we're going to want to access that. Slide our plastic back and get it good and tight. Now sometimes if you're lucky with this plastic, you can grab a hold, pull, and it'll come off in one long tear. Otherwise you're doing a bunch of that. You take your utility knife, get it started, and pull the plastic to you. You don't want to drag it along the handlebar. You notice I'm holding the front wheel still with my legs. Voila. All right, Looks like we're about ready to take her down and set everything up. So now we're going to take her down, get her final adjusted seat, handlebar angle. Most of that I'm going to be using a 6mm long handle. Seems to be giving me the best reach. The seat is actually quite level, so I'm just going to be able to tighten it down right now. No sense in changing the angle. If I needed to, I would loosen the bolt I'm tightening right now and pivot the seat where I want it. Now I can spin the rear reflector around, get it to where it's vertical, loosen up my seat clamp, get the seat down into the frame, make sure it's aligned with the frame. Now we're going to check the angle of our handlebars, make sure that it's going to be a comfortable ride. If we turn this around for you, we want to make sure our fork is straight with our stem and that our handlebars and controls are easily accessible. Then we will tighten down our stem bolt. Make sure that these two clamp bolts are at their maximum. You don't want the handlebars coming down on you for any reason. Test them good. And the only thing left is the plastic caps. And this bike is pretty much ready. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope that you may have picked up a few things. These are the absolute staple in the world of beach cruisers. Great bikes, well manufactured. I've been recommending them for at least 30 years now. I hope you like this content. If you'd like to see more of it, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll keep this channel going. Have a great day.